It's a good goal that can bring on a lot of guilt. If you have piles of pictures or files of photos stacking up on you, the task of memory keeping feels big and it feels overwhelming. My next guest says you need a deep breath and a game plan, and she is going to help us just start. Jill Broadbent joining me in studio. Happy New Year, sister. So a lot of women want to keep memories. What do you find is stopping them?
I feel like people always hear me say that that's kind of what I do, and they say, oh, I want to do that, and there's always a reason, right?
Yeah.
There's always
Yeah.
a reason, but they're all different. But I've kind of pinpointed maybe 4 or 5 different reasons that people aren't doing the memory keeping. And so I thought we could just address those and try and help people, so you can kind of say, this is the reason I find that I'm not doing it. And hopefully I'll give you some tips today that'll help you get started.
Yes, I don't even want to call these excuses because they're valid reasons.
It's just a hurdle.
It's a hurdle.
Yep.
Hurdle number 1, I'm not crafty, Jill.
Right.
I don't have that creative gene.
Right.
I can't put it together in a cute way.
Right, and that has nothing to do with memory keeping if you really think about it, right? Scrapbooking became a hobby. It became something that became really trendy as a hobby, and so people did it, right? And then when they were finding that the hobby itself wasn't fulfilling because that might not be an avenue that they enjoy spending their time on, then they quit memory keeping. And so I want people to separate those two. If you love the hobby of scrapbooking, then the bonus is you're telling stories as part of that, right? But if you don't want to do paper crafting and have a craft room full of things, you can still tell your stories.
Here's a few ways you can for the non-creative: journaling cards.
Yep, there's lots of brands that have just cards and inserts so you can write the story, add the photo, super easy.
There's photo books.
Yep, you can do printed photos, so upload your story and your photo and print the book.
And how do you feel about digital templates?
Yeah, there's tons of digital template options too. So same thing, you can just print photo pages, but the story and the photo are the only thing that you're including and not worrying about anything creative or decorative or anything like that.
Okay, hurdle number 2, and my girlfriends and I were just talking about this the other day. I'm so far behind.
Right.
Like I've got years to catch up on.
But you're not.
Okay?
You're not. Because think about, lots of people start telling their family history or something in their 80s, right? Like after they've retired, they go back and say, I should start doing writing my family story or my personal history. There is no behind because you're living this life right now.
So is it a start now recommendation?
It's just start. It's start with any story that you would want to tell, right?
Okay.
So if you want to set a goal for, I'm going to tell 1 story a month for this coming year, and you set aside the time that you're going to tell that or work on the story, then tell a story from when you were 10, and then tomorrow tell a story of your daughter from yesterday.
So it doesn't have to be chronological.
No, because think about if you had 12 stories of your grandmas and they were all random. You would love having any of those snippets. So think of them as snippets and not the start to finish of your life that has to be told.
1 minute left. What if I don't have spare time?
Right. None of us do. Right?
Who does?
Right? But if it matters to you, you make time for the things that matter, right? But there's so many easy ways to do some of these things, and they can be done in small snippets. So as you think of a story or as you're looking through your photos, did you know you can scroll up on your photo, so where it starts to tell you what date you took it and where you took it, there's a little box that says add caption. And in that caption, you could write the story. So you could be sitting in a doctor's office waiting room and add a story to a photo, and that's done. So don't think about you need to carve out all this time, but where you find yourself with pockets of time, then you can add that.
And finally, you say, take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath.
Yep.
Take a step.
Yep.
Just move.
And just start. And if it's not working for you, whatever you've tried, try something else. Take a different approach.
We're going to pick up part 2 in a couple weeks because I know the number of photos we're taking can be a problem too.
Yes.
So we'll look for you on that a little bit later.
Great.
Thank you so much.
It.
Happy New Year.